Hi there, and welcome back to the BroBryceGardens channel here on YouTube. Today I'm going to show you my worm composting system again. I know we've gone over this a bunch of times, but I wanted to share with you some of my success and my failure. You know, it's been we had a kind of a hard winter here in Portland, Oregon, and the igloo thing kind of didn't work out all winter. I meant for this to insulate the worm chalet from the cold, but as it turns out, the whole thing froze like a brick, froze solid, and I had to take the worm chalet out of here and put it into the greenhouse, and I had to put a thermostatic heater on it, and I'll show you basically what I did in here. We'll get to that here in just a second. I wanted to remind you guys that we do have a Facebook group now. It's called BroBryceGardens on Facebook. It's at brobrycegardens.info right here on the end of my finger. If you'd like to go there, you can check that out. I have this stainless steel table here, which the finish, the top here, stays kind of warm. Even in the winter, it's warmer than the ambient air around it. So what I did was I bought one of these. I bought a thermostatic outlet, which is right here. I'll show you this. It's a little thermo cube, and I plugged into this dish heater. It's one of these little Presto dish heaters, and I had that dish heater sitting up here on the tabletop, and I had the worm chalet up here, so that way if it got below 45 or it got below 32 degrees, that thing would kick on the heat and would heat everything up to 45 degrees. It stayed actually pretty cozy in here because of that. So just want to share that with you real quick. And let's go back over here, and I want to show you how it's doing now. I will take all these shingles off of here and have replaced some of the shingles. But again, we're still using the old piece of wood, which is fine. It's worms. That piece of wood gets rotten, no big deal. And I will open this up, and I'll show you how they're doing in here. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but everywhere in here there is movement. Everywhere in here there's tons of worms, and probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of these worms out of here. That's some eggshells and more worms in here. I'm trying to get it where you guys can see what's going on in here. They quickly hide, and this is where we're going to feed them. Is right in here. Just moving some of this bedding aside so that we can get in here, and that's where I'm going to feed them here in just a moment. But first we got to finish mixing up our stuff. See, my mixture came out kind of soupy. I added too much water. So, but what I've got here, this is cool. Like, what's in here is, you know, a mixture of like lettuce and broccoli and strawberries and all kinds of stuff in here, but I added some rainwater to it. Rainwater being better because it's not chlorinated. You can always let your chlorinated water vaporize, but what I've got here in this bag, this is cool, because I went to my local espresso shop, and as it turns out, my local espresso shop just gives away these grounds. They either throw them away in the trash or they give them away. They're coffee grounds, espresso grounds, and they're very good for composting. And it just happened that I went there. You know, sometimes you'll get a handful. This time I got a big trash bag full, enough to where I was able to share it with my neighbors. And probably I should take these blades out of here. Go. Take these blender blades out, set them there, and just want to add enough of this to where it's not totally soppy. But, you know, it's worms. They don't care. Just rather not drown them, you know. So take my rubber spatula, kind of stir this up a little bit. Mix that in there. Still pretty soupy. I added way too much water to drain off the water, but then we're losing coffee, right? Okay. And get some more of this. Stick it in here. I guess we'll just fill this thing up, because whatever we don't feed our worms here, we're going to feed to our worms in the greenhouse. Ooh, it's getting kind of cakey now. That's cool. Nice. Nice. Mmm. Yum, yum. Add a little more. There we go. Alright. And this is a Ninja blender. I like the Ninja because it's real tough. We can take and add eggshells and blend all that stuff up in there. As long as there's enough water. You don't want a dry mix in there. But we can do a lot with enough water. I just added too much water. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. It smells pretty yummy too. It smells like an espresso shop. It's awesome. Okay. So let's take our mixture here. And we shall feed our little guys here. There we go. I got a little overflow error there. That's a Commodore joke for you 8-bit people. There we go. Let's get rid of that. I don't want to attract any more bugs than necessary. There we go. Give them a heaping helping. And put some more of that bedding back over there. Keep the other bugs out. Seems like they're eating quite a bit of the bedding these days. That's where I fed them the last time, and it's mostly gone. So I'll take some of this bedding over here to cover that up. You know, if you don't have enough bedding, you're going to have pests, you're going to have bugs, you're going to have soldier flies, all kinds of things in here. And you don't want that, because you don't want anything to compete with your worms. And if you do get those in there, you know, you can just clean them out. So you'll have to go through it and pick them out. Okay, and this is like scraps of an old egg carton. I want to show you one more thing on this thing before we move on to our other specimen. This is the spigot on this thing that's supposed to dump out the worm pee, right? And it broke. The handle on it broke. So I went to the thrift store, and because these spigots are kind of expensive, that I went to a thrift store and I found a used Brita pitcher like you put in your fridge, and it's got a nice handle on it. It works perfectly, fits perfectly in there. And I got a piece of garden tubing here that I just stick on the end of it. I just hold it on the end there and dump my worm pee into a little jug. And we'll just go ahead and leave that for the moment. And let's go over here in the greenhouse and feed our little critters. So, the challenge here is getting this bucket off of here. It's real tight. I'm not going to try to do it with one hand. So I'm going to set you over here, and you guys can try to watch. Okay. There we go. Lift that up off there. And we got stuff going on in there. We got worms. Some of it's kind of stinky. Okay. some more worms to this. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we will take and put the lid back on it, just like so. Just set it back on there. Alright, and that's the composting tube right in there. That's where all the stuff is going to go. And the worms live in the barrel, in amongst the vegetables and everything. And they put their droppings around through there, and they help to aerate the soil. So it's a great plan. And then if you want to, you know, the thing dumps out the excess water in that pan underneath there. You can re-water with that. I don't personally, I talked to one guy who seemed to have the opinion that that's not super healthy for the plants, but that's just me. Anyway, I use rainwater to water my plants. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that you like these videos. If you do, make sure you check that subscribe button up there up top. And if you want to see the previous video, it's right over there. Next video is right there. And you can check out the Facebook group at BroBryceGardens.info, right on the end of my goopy finger. Talk to you later. Bye.